Joining us now, President Obama is set to sign 2 more executive orders tomorrow, I think it is, Ed. Again, using the pen and the phone, going around Congress. Right. Why is he doing this? Is it because he just can't negotiate with Congress? Is that it? I
see this as the last desperate effort of a weak leader. You know, I spoke to Vernon Jordan, one of the wisest of wise men in the Democratic Party. You think that he would say, oh, it's all the Republicans' fault? He doesn't. Vernon Jordan says, here's a president who doesn't have the ability to consult with the other side. And to quote Vernon Jordan, he said, Obama has the responsibility of leadership and he's not following through.
But he could do it so easily. The man sits in the White House. That's an enormous institution which people would flock to. His political opponents would flock to him if he offered an invitation. Does he not have them over for dinner or coffee or whatever?
You know, it's very hard to talk about this president without talking about his personality, his character, his psychology. He sees politics not as a compromise, an art of compromise, but as a zero-sum game. You know, in his book, The Audacity of Hope, he talked about losing to Bobby Rush in the 2000 congressional campaign, and he said he went around and he saw in the eyes of other people the word loser about him, Obama. He has a fragile ego. The guy can't take losing. He sees compromise as weakness, and therefore he doesn't get things done.
Does he have any of his political opponents relatively close to him? Has he a relationship with John Boehner? Has he got a relationship with Mitch McConnell? Has he got a relationship with the other Republicans in Congress? Any relationship at all?
Not only doesn't he have a relationship with the Republicans, he doesn't have a relationship with the Democrats. I've interviewed many Democratic leaders in Congress, and they all tell me that this guy is AWOL. They never hear from him. He doesn't have, you know, all presidents generally have a list of like a dozen phone calls they're supposed to make every day to make things happen. There is no such list. Valerie Jarrett doesn't put a list like that on his desk every day. But he doesn't call people.
It's not too late to change, surely. I mean, Obamacare is an absolute mess. Many of the president's priorities are just not going to get through Congress. It's not too late for him to change and to reach out to see if he can get some kind of compromise negotiation with his opponents. It's surely not too late.
If he was going to change, Stuart, I think he would have changed after the 2012 election, when it was clear that as a second-term president, that he was soon going to become a lame duck, and that if he didn't start reaching out to the other side, it was going to be too late. He's done none of that. Bill Clinton understood compromise, he understood triangulation, he understood getting along. Obama doesn't get that. And he's surrounded by people like Valerie Jarrett who feed his narcissism and feed this, what I would call immaturity, that he can get done what other people can't get done because he just wishes it were so. That's the sign of an immature person.
Now, you wrote the book, The Amateur. You used that word to describe Barack Obama.
Yes.
When did you write that book? Was that just before the 2008?
2012 election, during the election.
And you've no reason to change your judgment. The president is the amateur. You wouldn't change that judgment at all?
Think of John F. Kennedy. He goes into the Oval Office, inexperienced the way Obama was inexperienced, really. But in those 3 years that he was in office, he grew. I don't see any growth on the part of this president whatsoever.
Ed Klein, you tell it how it is, don't you? Or how you see it, that's for sure. Ed Klein, thanks so much for joining us.
Great to be here.
Appreciate it. You got another book coming, have you?
I do, in June.
And you cannot tell us about it?
No, it's still a secret.
But you'll be on this program to tell us about it.
I hope so.
Thanks, Ed. Good stuff.